my god, look at how thick he is! Shut up. If all you've heard about Seven Prince so far is how confusingly thick the main character is, then you have been underserved by your local YouTuber, and I am here to correct the mistakes of my 4 dads. Hello, and welcome back to Binging Last Season, where I'm gonna have a lot of explaining to do if I want to justify how much I like this show. So I won't be dragging my feet here, and neither will Seventh Prince, as straight out of the gates, it is a visual joyride. From the character designs, to the colors they use all over the place, to even the CGI scenes look good. This show is pleasing to the eyeballs. And don't even get me started on the magic. Oh wait, you didn't know about the magic? Well, that's because I didn't explain anything at the start of this episode because I'm dumb. Do you like light novel titles? Neither do I! This one's called I Was Reincarnated as the Seventh Prince so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability. Or, a name I can't say in Japanese. Do you see why I called it Seventh Prince now? Following the proud tradition of light novel adaptations summarizing their entire show in the title, this one is about a little guy named, Lloyd. It's about a little guy. Little guy Lloyd is the 7th prince of the kingdom, but he has no interest whatsoever in the throne. All he wants to do is practice magic because he's obsessed with it because he is a reincarnation. But wait, this is not isekai. See, in his past life, Lloyd was a commoner, and as a commoner, he has really no access to magic. That is reserved for the nobility. It's inherent in his blood, which we're not going to talk about because we don't want to get in trouble again. And in the opening scene, we see him getting murdered by a noble, set on fire, and he enjoys it a lot in the first of many scenes in this show to make you go, is this okay? After he reincarnates, he does some slight restructuring to the castle, and he's off to the races to learn everything and anything that he can about magic. He is completely obsessed. That is all that he cares about. And yes, that is a he. I do not know why they made him so thick. It probably has something to do with the fact that this show is unbelievably horny. But in the first of many praises I have for Seventh Prince, it doesn't really distract from the show too much. I'm watching another show right now called Mato Seihe no Slave, or Chained Soldier in English for some reason. And while Chained Soldier steps away from the main plot of the show for the horny scenes, Seventh Prince, it just has it kind of everywhere, but the plot doesn't really stop. It's just the horniness sort of coexists in the show. And depending on your perspective on that type of thing, you're going to enjoy it more or less because of how horny it is. Me, personally, well, my folks might see this video, so I'll just say I wasn't that bothered. I mean, it's tough for me to care about how thick Lloyd is when he is a walking nuclear bomb of a human being. See, Lloyd is massively overpowered compared to everybody else in the show, the human beings and the not so human beings. And the scenes where he pops off and uses magic to his full potential are visually just, so much fun to look at. But he embodies the crouching moron hidden badass aesthetic in such a way that I really don't mind how strong he is, and I'm just along for the ride. The supporting cast is also a lot of fun, but I'm not really going to go into too much detail because I don't want to spoil it for you. I really think you should watch this show. I'm also not going to go into too much detail on the story, but I am going to complain about it. See, I don't know where season 2 could possibly go story-wise. There's seemingly no really grand narrative and no overarching narrative until you get to the second half of the first season. While I want a season 2, I have no idea what it looks like narratively because there's no grand goal to accomplish. There's no intent for the main character. He just wants to learn about magic. We're just going to be following Lloyd around more while he's messing around and doing crazy shit that shouldn't be possible. But they have proven that they can tell a really good story with the Assassin's Guild arc. Again, I'm not going to go into detail. Watch it yourself. It's really good. But the story does happen around Lloyd. It doesn't specifically involve him, and the plot points and story beats that really hit generally happen to the side characters, which is fine. And they do hit a story beat that really hit home for me, which is that no matter how much of a freak of nature you are, whether or not other people or even God can understand what is going on in your brain, there is somebody else out there who you would consider to be amazing. Someone who cares about the same things that you care about, somebody who has the same goals that you have, someone who really is just a kindred spirit in the things that you appreciate. They're out there. And whether or not you get the chance to meet them in your lifetime, which would be a golden opportunity, just knowing that they exist can be comforting. But we must assign a number, and I'm kind of struggling with this one. I know what number I gave it. It just feels like I shouldn't have, and I think that feeling is just knowing that it's trashy. It's fantasy trash. We are all aware of the fantasy trash type genre at this point, and it feels wrong to give it such high praise, but I think I'm gonna do it anyway. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I think the visuals are undeniable. I think it's extremely funny. I think the way they work their comedy into their visuals is fantastic. I think their magic is just beautiful to look at. I think some other things are beautiful to look at. I just think Seventh Prince was a lot of fun. The whole time I enjoyed it. Rewatching it, I thought I was gonna skip some parts, and then I just didn't because I was locked in. It's a great show. But tell me what you thought of it in the comments. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you go and watch it, and then you come back here, watch this video again, and to tell me what you thought. Anyway, to the 60 of you who saw this based on my recent analytics, you're the real ones, and I'll see you guys again next week. Are they gone now? Okay. Look at the big bazoinga